All right, good morning or good afternoon or good evening, everyone. Welcome to our HCCC graduation number 6. Woo! We're so excited to be here today and to recognize the unbelievable accomplishment of our new graduates. I know all of you here have already graduated and you know how great it feels to be a certified holistic health coach and carry on Dr. Wallach's torch. I mean, the reason why Cheryl and I started this whole program is because of Dr. Wallach. We have known Dr. Wallach, each of us, for over 20 years. And his message is the most powerful message of health and wellness in the whole world. I mean, the recording alone of Dead Doctors Don't Lie has more listeners than all recordings in history combined. It is the most listened to lecture of all time. It's the most famous lecture of all time. And he's the only doctor out there that I know of that preaches 90 for life. You know, we're the only company out there that gets that every single textbook, every single medical book in the world recognizes that there's 90 essential nutrients that we all must take. And that is the foundation of Dr. Wallach's message, is the foundation of the Institute of Wholistic Health and everything that we do. So that is a critical message, especially in today's world where health is the number one issue out there. We have to make sure people are getting the right nutrition in, and getting not just the right nutrition in, but sending out the message that you can't out supplement a bad diet. You know, so teaching people Dr. Wallach's good food, bad food list and the 10 bad foods to avoid, make sure that you're doing the nutrition side and you're also doing the meal side or the diet side as well. So without further ado, it is my pleasure this morning to introduce the man, the legend, my mentor, my primary care physician. I've known him. I was distributing his audio tapes back in 1985, and I made a promise to Dr. Wallach personally that I would share his message every single day of my life with at least one new person, and I have not broken that promise to him. So every single day, I'm out there sharing this message with people. And Dr. Wallach's, everything that Dr. Wallach's taught me. And I was very blessed. Cheryl's very blessed that we got to spend so much time with Dr. Wallach. I was able to travel with them and have breakfast, lunch, and dinner with them and spend lots and lots of time and with him personally, and also the ability to been at so many of his seminars. And I listened to every word he said, wrote all the notes down. And everything I know, it's not because of my master's degree in nutrition. It's because of Dr. Wallach. So without further ado, I want to bring on again, Dr. Wallach. He's just unbelievable and full of knowledge. And I know you got some great things to share with us today, Dr. Wallach.
Thank you so much, Paul. And thank you, Cheryl. And thank you, Rebecca. And thank you, everybody, the entire team. I apologize. I don't have a list of everybody's name, but the whole team I want to thank. And the 6th graduation, I'm so proud of each and every one of you graduates. And it comes down to that our time has come. The medical system, as we know it, has failed us terribly. And as a result, I'm hearing a lot of buzzing in the background, so people need to mute themselves. Okay. So anyway, to make a long story short, the troubles continue to get worse because there's so much distraction from the basics. And Paul hit the nail on the head. Every human being needs 90 essential nutrients, regardless of your race, gender, age. You need the 90 essential nutrients. And people kind of forget the little kids. And people always ask me, when do we start kids on vitamins and minerals? Well, about a year before they're conceived. Don't start taking prenatal vitamins 2 months after you're pregnant because the baby's already damaged. And so you need a man who's been taking the 90 essential nutrients, a woman's been taking 90 essential nutrients for a year, they get a pregnancy, that baby's going to come out good. Okay, it's just that simple. Anything else that misses that goal leads to Down syndrome, cleft palate, spina bifida, hydrocephalus, heart defects, every kind of defect you can think of. I'm the guy who got rid of cystic fibrosis. I found the first non-human case of cystic fibrosis at the Yerkes Primate Center, and they fired me because they said it wasn't genetic. Well, I proved it, and you don't hear about cystic fibrosis anymore because I eliminated it. I'll tell you how in just a minute. We found the cause prevention and cure for muscular dystrophy. And Marvin Ropp and I were working on that with all the Amish people in, let's see here, Utah, Idaho, Indiana, and Eastern Canada. And we learned how to prevent and cure. And I know people don't like that word, but we learned how to prevent and cure muscular dystrophy. We gave it to Jerry Lewis. We gave him about 12 charts in his telethon. He took it to the Muscular Dystrophy Association. They fired Jerry Lewis and shut down the telethon because he was convinced properly that muscular dystrophy was not a genetic disease. It could be prevented and cured. And they fired Jerry Lewis, and he died 2 years later, I'm sure, of a broken heart, after he raised $2 billion for the Muscular Dystrophy Association. And then, just as a side note, we eliminated sudden death syndrome, which doctors claimed it was due to mothers sleeping on their babies. Well, 98% of the babies that were diagnosed with sudden death syndrome were dead in their cribs, and the mother wasn't in the crib with them. They were dying of hypertrophic cardiomyopathy heart disease, a single nutrient deficiency. And to make a long story short, April 16, 2000, let's see here, April 16, 2013, the federal courts pushed the FDA to force the baby food manufacturers, Enfamil, Similac, the formula replacers, to put this one nutrient in there. Just put that one nutrient in there. And suddenly now sudden death syndrome disappears, muscular dystrophy disappeared, cystic fibrosis disappeared. You don't hear about those diseases anymore because I eliminated them by getting that law passed to put that nutrient into baby formulas. It's just that simple. Muscular dystrophy, cystic fibrosis, and sudden death syndrome were all due to the same deficiency, and I'm the one who got rid of it. Okay. Did any medical school or naturopathic school ask me to come give a lecture on it? No, not even a naturopathic school invited me to give a lecture on it because everybody still believes those were genetic diseases. And of course, that's not true. Mothers were not laying on their babies. One of the tragic things about that, mothers whose babies died of sudden death syndrome, their communities were rebuffing them and doing bad things against them because the communities believed that the mothers laid on their babies and killed them. So there's so many of them committed suicide by taking drugs, shooting themselves in the head, doing hara-kiri, knives in the chest, because they were excommunicated from their communities because of a wrong theory. Now, quickly, before I get into my talk of the day, I do have 2 new CDs. One of them is called Dr. Wallach's Laws of Photosynthetic Disruption and Global Warming. That's available now. Okay. It was put together by pharmacist Keith and myself. And we and I show very clearly that
you know about the role that Dolby and other dogs would have in trying to
all I hear is buzzing. All I hear, I don't hear a word.
Yeah, it's fascinating.
Okay, thank you. And so, at any rate, global warming has nothing to do with the disappearance of the dinosaurs. Global warming has nothing to do with all the mass extinctions and all kinds of stuff. It was hypoxia because of moraines from the glaciers. Every time there was some mass die-off or mass extinction, it was always associated with glaciation. And the glaciers made moraines that dammed up the flow of nutrients into the algae and the swamps and the rivers and the lakes and so forth. They require 20 nutrients. Algae and green plants, whether it's an oak tree or a sequoia or whatever, requires 90, not 90, they require 20 nutrients to make the photosynthesis work. And when the moraines were damming up that flow of nutrients to the plants that cut off the process of photosynthesis, and all these mass die-offs and extinctions occurred from hypoxia, not global warming. There were no cars 2 million years ago or 20 million years ago or 100 million years ago. Now, the newest one is Scott Ferdulis and I did a big thing, and I believe it was the Philippines, and there was so many Chinese people in there. We had a Chinese translator. And so we have my speech there, okay, called the Manchurian Prescription, which is kind of like a version of Dead Doctors Don't Lie. Manchurian Prescription, it's available today, okay? And it's in English and Chinese. So it's in English and Chinese, and English and Chinese. And so those are available. The newest book I have out is Dr. Wallach's Cooking Without the Bad Foods. People have been asking me for 20 years, do you have recipes? Do you have recipes? Do you have recipes? Well, finally, we got 300 pages of recipes in the book. It was kind of a wager with 3 professional chefs in Eastern Canada. We took 3 years to do the study on all my recipes. And there's 300 pages of these gluten-free meals and fried food-free meals and people are loving it. Okay, this book is going like crazy. Dr. Wallach's Cooking Without the Bad Foods. And with all that said, I'm going to get into the last sort of 8 or 10 minutes that I have to the message that I want. The way to measure the success of a community is their longevity. The human being has the capacity for life expectancy of 155. Up until about a year ago, our average lifespan in the USA was 79. We were leaving 76 years on the table. 76 years you couldn't be with your loved ones and do the things you love to do. And then about a year ago, we flipped down to, let's see here, 75 years of age is our average. We're leaving 80 years on the table. Okay, we're leaving 80 years on the table. And that's because we're eating so much wheat, barley, rye, and oats. Gluten has damaged our intestines. We're not really a country of supplementation, and so we're paying the price. Our medical doctors, this is CDC just 6 months ago, medical doctors in America, their average lifespan is 57, particularly the emergency room doctors. Their average lifespan is 57. They're leaving 98 years on the table. Why would anybody listen to them for information on longevity? Okay, they're only living to be 57. And then, of course, the people who live the shortest that we looked at were the Filipinos. They live to be 69.6. They're leaving 85 years on the table as a country. Japan is the longest. They live 84 years on the average. And then, of course, Australia and New Zealand live to be 82, 83. They're only leaving 70 something years on the table. So at any rate, I want you to appreciate that this is all something that you can control. Don't forget the kids. We have a sort of a healthy brain and heart pack for kids. It's called Kids Toddy. Don't forget the EFAs, so they don't get blood clots. Those two things will just do wonders for them. The EFAs and the Kids Toddy together can get rid of asthma, skin problems, eczema, dermatitis, psoriasis, and you get rid of all the bad foods, no gluten, no wheat, brown, rye, oats. There'll be new kids. You'll add many years of your healthful life. So Kids Toddy, Cal Toddy, EFAs, and Kids Sprinkles, great stuff. I use them on my gluten-free ice cream, the Kids Sprinkles. They're vitamins, minerals, taste like watermelon. And then I want everybody to, let me go to the next page here, look at our numbers and compare to the world. Our population in America is 332 million. We're supposed to have the best healthcare system in the world. And as of yesterday, we have 45,135,427 infections from COVID in 18 months. We have 732,454 dead in 18 months. Now compare that with the Spanish flu, 1918, 1919 in the United States. We had 675,000 dead. That means we have 53,313 more dead in 18 months than they had in 2 years from the Spanish flu. And that's because our immune systems are not working properly. Everybody is eating bad foods. Very few people are supplementing, and we're paying a price. We're paying a big price. If everybody were to do the basics, get away from all the bad foods, again, the book, Dr. Wallach's Cooking Without the Bad Foods, no fried foods, no processed meats, no oils, no glutens, no wheat, rye, oats, no sugar, no carbonated drinks. And even the diet ones got to go because they still neutralize your stomach acid. Take the 90 essential nutrients, even the basic healthy start pack. You get the 90 essential nutrients, and you'll add 25 to 50 years to your life. The naturopathic community, the community of longevity, the longevity community has the ability to add 25 to 50 healthy years to everybody's life. If they would just do the right diet, the right supplement program, will add 25 to 50 healthy years to their life. And it's very economical. We're talking, depending on your body weight, $3 to $5 a day. That's cheaper than a couple of cups of Starbucks coffee at a coffee, whatever you call them, habitat. And so this is something that you have to really work at and get your customers, your associates going in the right direction. This is easy. This is well documented. And again, you can go to www.drjwallach.com, www.drjwallach.com. We give big discounts if you buy, I don't know, I think it's 7 to 10 things, whether it's CDs, DVDs, or books. We give big discounts if you buy cases. And we have some of our most successful associates and distributors in longevity who buy these things by the cases and send them all over the world. They're working in many countries and they buy cases and send them all over the world. And, they make a few bucks on selling each one individually because you get the big discount when you buy the quantity, but it gets the message out there and it's having a positive effect. So I'm just so happy that each and every one of you are joining us. And please, I'm available to you. Just remember, I do Zooms and radio many hours during the day. I'm talking to, in some cases, 12 million people a day. And maybe, for instance, if you listen on the 19th at 10 p.m. to 12 p.m. Pacific time on George Norrie, I'll be talking to 12 million people through him. He is one of our biggest advocates. He is one of our biggest supporters. And as a single individual, he generates more sales than any other individual on earth. And so we're so happy to be associated with him. He is somebody who really, really, really supports the longevity concept. And so again, I'll be on there from 10 to 12 p.m. Pacific time, the Tuesday night, the 19th of this month. So if you're not doing anything then, I know there's 1 to 3 in the morning. When I'm on the East Coast, it's 1 to 3 in the morning. And so I know that. Let's see here. All right, I want to give you a couple more quick comparisons. So I want you to know my last thoughts here before we go back to your team. I want to compare the USA to India. India has 1.3 billion people. We have 332 million. We're 1/5 their population. Again, we're 45 million infections. They have 33 million infections. We have 732,000 dead, and they have, let's see here, they have dead, 449,029. They have only 2/3 of the dead we have, and they have 5 times the population. Well, that's because they have 2 communities. They have 29 states and 7 territories. The northern 9 states have 95% of the deaths and 87% of the infections. The southern 20 states and 7 territories have 5% of the deaths and only 17% of the infections. Why is that? Well, the northern 9 states of India were occupied for 100 years by the British. They were inducting all the young men from India into their army to fight their wars around the world, but they didn't have enough Englishmen, so they got the Indians to do it for them. And so they taught them to eat wheat, bran, and oats and taught them to grow wheat, bran, and oats, and they're still doing that today. Well, after 100 years of occupation with the British, the southern 20 states and 7 territories, they live like Asians. They eat rice and maize, corn. They eat beans and squash and seaweed. And that's why the southern states and territories do much, much better. It's a dietary thing. Gluten will kill you faster than anything because you cannot absorb nutrients, even if you're supplementing. I get so many people, well, I tried it for a month and it didn't work. Well, are you eating gluten? Well, yeah, I still have oatmeal for breakfast every morning. Well, that's why you're not getting the benefit, because you're still getting gluten. There are no such things as gluten-free oats. And so we have the war is against gluten and non-supplementation. And we can add 25 to 50 healthy years to everybody in America and everybody in the world. Okay, Hong Kong and Arizona have the same population, 7.5 million. Hong Kong has 213 dead. Arizona has 20,211 dead. Hong Kong has 12,000 infections, and Arizona has 1.1 million. Louisiana and New Zealand have the same population, 5 million each. Louisiana has 14,000 dead. New Zealand has 28 dead. Louisiana has 744,000 infections, and New Zealand has 4,000 infections. Why the huge difference? Well, in New Zealand, the people there, 40% are indigenous peoples that live on corn and rice and sweet potatoes and seaweed. And in Louisiana, everybody there are Latinos, Blacks, or Native Americans, and all they eat is wheat, butter, and oats and don't supplement. So that's what goes on here. Diet, diet, diet. Get them off of gluten, get them on the 90 essential nutrients, and we can save America and we can save the world. I'm looking forward to you getting out there in the field. I do Zooms all over the world. So, kind of look for those Zooms. Look for George Norrie, the 19th of this month, Tuesday night, 10 p.m. to 12 p.m. Pacific time. That's 1 a.m. to 3 a.m. Eastern time. Okay, over to you.
Okay, thank you so much, Dr. Wallach. It's great information. It's so important to look at the stats, especially Dr. Wallach gave on India. That's just mind blowing how many more people that they have and how many few cases. So it's important to study the whole world like Dr. Wallach does, and to look around and notice success. Why do some places have more success than others? And that's really what Dr. Wallach did when making his lecture, Dead Doctors Don't Lie. We looked at other cultures that were living longer and asked, why is that? Why are these cultures doing so well and other cultures not? And all these different health problems are in these different cultures, and then other cultures have none of those problems. So there's got to be some sort of clues in that, and Dr. Wallach has uncovered those clues and connected the dots for us so that we can go out and help the world become healthier. Dr. Wallach is the most amazing man I've ever met. However, he's only one man. So my commitment to him was to create an army of people that learned his message and was able to take it on to the world. And that's what we're doing here at the Institute. And we're so excited to have these new graduates. And we're going to read off the names right now of the new graduates. And Caroline is going to speak as our alumni host here in a little bit. She's shaking her head. I mean, and she's also going to help me with these names, because there's a couple names on here that I'm not 1,000% sure of on the pronunciation. So I'm going to do the best I can, but if I definitely want to be corrected if I'm wrong. So Caroline, if you catch me saying a name wrong, or if anybody catches me saying a name wrong, we want to get it correctly so that we honor you properly. So with that being said, the very first name on the list here is Valerie Ann Anderson. So fantastic job, Valerie. There's Sheila Arnold, Stanley Brown, Shelly Davis, who will be speaking in a bit here, Tomasa Gales, Hope Darlene Hayes, Shayna Keller, who will also is a doctor. Dr. Shayna Keller will be speaking in a bit here. Christy King, Jennifer Lee Lisa, Naisita, is that correctly? Is that correct, Caroline? Marquise?
I think so.
Okay. Anybody wants to correct that? We're all ears. Michael Meehan, sorry. Wani McCabe, Grant McGinnis, Jamie Perrett, Brooke Rommel, Christina Segun, and Lacey White.
I think you got it.
What was that?
I think you got it.
Okay, as close as I can get it right there. So congratulations, everybody. We're so excited for all of you. What an amazing job. I mean, it's one thing to sign up for a course and say, should I really do this? I'm not sure if I'm going to be good at this or I can do it. And it's a whole other thing to get through it all, take all the tests in there and complete all the lessons. So, I'm just so proud of each and every one of you for doing that. It's just an amazing, amazing accomplishment. And you are a certified holistic health coach now, which means you can go out, you're have all the education you need to go out and help human beings get healthier. We're big on this concept of elevating health. So it starts with Dr. Wallach's 4 categories. We have a whole health evaluation system based on that. So to find out someone's health score and then know what category is the problem and be able to properly prescribe a health and wellness program for them that is not based on drugs or surgery. That is the 2 things that we are against here. And we want to do all we can to avoid those 2 things by again, giving them the right nutrition and showing them what the bad foods to avoid. So you do those 2 things and, give the body what it needs, and it can do amazing things. So let's now go to, we're going to go to Shelly Davis. So Shelly Davis has been with Youngevity forever. So Shelly, how long have you been with Youngevity?
Hi, Paul, everybody. My husband and I have been with Youngevity for 8 years.
8 years. Wow. So I've been here for 8 years as well. So we came in at the same time. And so super excited that you decided to take the course. I saw your Facebook post saying, I'm thinking about taking it. Should I do it? Should I do it? And everyone's like 2 million comments, like, do it. So that was cool. And to see you now complete it. So we just want to hear from you. So 8 years, it's a lot of experience. And I know you've been a leading advocate for longevity online on Facebook. You're one of the most popular people in the whole company. And to have you go through the course, we just would love to hear from you on, kind of what your life was, coming into longevity, how things were going, and then deciding to take the course and what you got out of the course, and how that has changed you, hopefully in a positive way. And I do want to say something very quickly before you start speaking, and that's happy birthday. So everybody type in happy birthday to Shelly. She's going to be having a birthday tomorrow, but let's celebrate that today. Happy birthday. Awesome, awesome, awesome. All right.
Yeah.
The stage is all yours, Shelly.
All right. Well, thank you, everyone. I am just so excited to be here with you today and be a part of this 6th class graduating today. And, like Paul said, I am on social media quite a bit, and I think I recognize so many names on this Zoom today. And a lot of you have heard my story. When we joined, we definitely saw health improvements right away and developed that health story, very quickly, and started to build the business. My husband did most of the building there in the beginning. I was kind of more on the sidelines, just kind of seeing, is this really going to work? And seeing his success made me want to have that same success. So about 4 years in, I started the Keto 90 program. So my weight had always been an issue for me, my entire adult life, and just losing it was no problem. Keeping it off was my problem. And I saw great success on Keto 90, and so grateful for that program and the plan that we have here at Longevity and the great support system. So I really started branding myself on social media and using the hashtag Keto Grandma. I do have 8 wonderful grandkids that are my why, my big why. And in doing that, I developed a good following and was able to get to senior associate very quickly. I was really focused and disciplined and just hardcore keto, but I wasn't really developing those skills and taking them to business building. So I was good at, I was doing Facebook Lives and sharing recipes and meals, snacks, all that good stuff, and really had that following. But to get people to join and then duplicate, and build a business, that's where I was struggling. And then with 2020, we all know all the challenges that came with that year. And 2021, honestly hasn't been the best year for me yet either. And I really found myself discouraged and just frustrated. And I knew that I had seen so many success stories coming out of the Institute, and watching you guys, and you didn't know that I was watching you guys, but I was watching you guys and seeing all of the success you are having in helping so many more people and building your business along with that. And so yeah, like Paul said, I sat back and I waited, and I kind of was asking myself, do I really want to do this? Because I knew that there were things that it meant I needed to do. It meant I needed to not play it small anymore. It meant I needed to have a plan, and I needed to focus, like you say, Paul, plan, do, review. And did I really want to go and step out of my comfort zone? Because I do have that fear of self-doubt and, negative thoughts kind of creep in at times. And I know I have so many people say, oh, you're such a motivator, you're so inspiring. And I do on the weight loss side, but I need help, and I have problem asking for help sometimes. And I think many of us can relate to that. But I knew if nothing changes, nothing changes, right? I tell my clients that all the time. And then another quote that I love in a book that I'm reading called Chasing Cupcakes. It's, you can either maintain your present reality, replay your past, or create a change based on the way you think. So with that, I enrolled in the Institute, and that was the best decision ever. When I went to my husband, Mick, and said, I think I want to do this. What do you think? And he was like, absolutely. goes, this is great. This is right in your wheelhouse. You should definitely do this. So, I just know that with this program, it's going to help me help more people. It's going to help me to serve better, to be that leader that I need to be and that I want to be. And it's going to require me to push myself, stepping out of my comfort zone. Because Paul, you said on the leadership training with John Maxwell, if you want better results, you need to get around great leaders. And we have that in the Institute. Look at all of you great leaders right now. And I know that helping people with their health is my purpose and my passion. Because when you get that call from a client you're working with and they're so excited about the success they're having, you get that feeling of doing more and just that fulfillment and knowing that they're going to help other people, and just that ripple effect will affect so many lives. So I made the plan and I finished, and I wanted to finish in 3 weeks. And during that time, we lost my dad and his wife within 4 days of each other. It was a shock. They both became very sick very quickly, and my dad was in ICU. And if one thing my dad taught me was to always go for what you want in life. Don't settle. You've got to have that work ethic, and you just have to do it. You just can't sit around and think about it. You need to do it. And that's how he lived his life. So, I definitely dedicate this certification in today to my dad's memory and his wife, Pat. I know that he's going to lead me. He's here watching me today, and I have him in my heart all the time. And, Alex Tice said something to his training, that adversity can make us stronger. And just changing my perspective to that, and not listening to negative stories I tell myself, but looking on the other side of that, those might be true, but they're not really true. What else is true? That I feel like I can't help people, but no, in reality, I can help people, and I have helped people. So just change your perspective with this. And if the one thing I think I got out of this course and graduating is just a new hope. A hope in helping more people, because really playing it small isn't going to serve anyone, and it's not going to serve us. Hope in building a business and being a better leader. The course, it was a great refresher on products for me. We've always been in the company and been a great product leader in the company. And knowing that I have this community to give me the courage that I'm going to need, and to challenge me and to help me in those challenges. Each week on our trainings that I've been on, it's just been so great to learn all of these aspects, and leadership, and help with challenges, and really having that support system and the help that we need to build this great business. And I just, ending it with my vision for the future. I can see a really bright future now, and I just feel so hopeful. And my little mission statement that I wrote out is to help people create an environment that makes it easier for them to succeed with their health and their business. And, if we could each do that and help all these people, and I know for me personally, I can see one star in my future. And I hope to have that story along with my health story is a business side story, and to find leaders that I can help do the same thing. So that's basically it.
Oh my God, that was so good, Shelley. Thank you so much for that. I know that had to take a lot of courage to say all that, and but we all got touched from your speech. You've touched all of our lives with your post, and I make like every recipe you post. So thank you for all the recipes. And you've just been a leader here at Longevity all along. So to have you now certified is so fantastic. We got to have you on teaching now. So we're super excited to have you on board. I love what you said. It says, if nothing changes, nothing changes. I mean, that's gonna be like my new bumper sticker I'm going to get in my car.
Yeah.
Love that. And then you mentioned the word purpose too, which is so big in my book. You know, I think that the two most important days in your life are the day you're born and the day you find out why, figure out why. And I don't believe in accidents. I don't believe that anyone here today is here by accident. I don't believe anybody that's graduated from this was by accident. It's all divinely sent. I mean, this is what you were put on this earth to do. And you can just see it in all of you, but especially you, Shelley, that when you're doing what you do, you're living on purpose like you are and helping people get healthier. You're doing what God wanted you to do. And that feels, it's the best feeling in the world, knowing that you're doing what you were meant to do. So thank you so much for all that. The other word I want to talk about just real quick on purpose is legacy. You know, so I was at an amazing John Maxwell seminar yesterday, and John is actually redoing the book, The 21 Laws of Leadership. And the last law number 21, is the most important of them, all of them. And that's the law of legacy. So it's not just figuring out what our purpose is in life and living that, but also thinking backwards on what do you want people to remember you for? And everybody's going to have one sentence that's going to say, oh, Paul was blank. And it's one sentence. So what John and what I recommend you doing is picking that sentence today. What is your one sentence that you want to be remembered, how you want people to remember you? And that can be another sort of a compass in your life, you know, where you're not just thinking about purpose, but you're also thinking about legacy. And those two things can really guide you in the right direction and help you stay on course on a day-to-day basis. So thank you, Shelley, for that. We're going to go to another graduate right now who is a doctor. And I love having doctors on here and hearing from naturopathic doctors that have been in the industry for a long time. Honored that you took the course. Love to get your feedback on where you've been with your career, where you are now, what you thought of the course, and kind of what the future looks like for you. So Dr. Shayna Keller.
Thanks, Paul. I appreciate that. So I've actually only been in practice for about a year now, but I met Dr. Wallach at a couple of conferences, you know, as I was kind of going through school. And what I wanted to share with you guys today is I did take nutrition classes all through school. And what I learned from my nutrition classes is this for that. So usually a supplement for this condition, a supplement for that condition. If that doesn't work, then you do this. But never did we talk about you need to have nutrition. Nutrients are important overall for your health and for you to have a long, healthy life, period. That was never something we discussed. So for me to learn about nutritional deficiencies associated with, you know, dental caries, for example, calcium, or how our joints is a calcium deficiency, just learning these subtle things. So now when I'm sitting in a patient visit and I'm hearing them say like 5-6 things off the hard tissue, I'm like, okay, you're calcium deficient. What do we need to do next? And, you know, we've all heard the stories about the high school athletes that are awesome and then they just keel over and die. That's terrible. And I don't want any of my patients or any of my patients' children to have that experience. So we do have a conversation, and I usually wait till the second or third visit to start introducing supplements once we get some basic lifestyle stuff on board, because so many people aren't even drinking water, let alone getting them to take supplements on a daily basis. We got to start small.
Right.
So learning about the 4 categories was really important, and the main nutritional deficiencies. Again, I learned chromium, but we never talked about vanadium, and there's not really good research on it, is what my instructor said. So clinically identifying, and my favorite thing that I loved learning in the program is the difference between metallic, chelated, and colloidal minerals and their absorbability. I thought that was really important because so many people are like, well, why do I need to take this calcium over this calcium? Now I can explain why without, you know, for good reason. And my future of the world, you know, I'm a farmer by like the heart and soul of my being. And so as I continue to go forward with getting my medicinal herb farm coming up, I will have really high quality medicinal herbs because I will make sure that the soil is getting the proper nutrition it needs, just like our human bodies. So I have a bright future ahead of me as well, not only clinically, but also tending to the earth.
So great. Thank you for that. So you got you said you got your degree about a year ago?
Yeah, I graduated in June 2020. No graduation because of COVID.
Right. Now, were you following Dr. Wallach prior to that or after you?
Yeah, so he has spoken at a couple conferences I have attended, as well as my favorite organization, the Naturopathic Medicine Institute. He was very good friends and became a naturopathic doctor because of the doctor that started that organization. And that's really what kept me in naturopathic medicine, was because I was actually learning how to be a real naturopathic doctor, not a what we call as a green allopath. So like basically you take this supplement for this and that's all you do. So supplements instead of medication, basically.
Fantastic. That's so great.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it was actually, this is the first time I got to meet you. So I loved the chance to get to meet you. And I look forward to talking with you soon. I definitely love to connect with you and get together and get to learn more about you. But thank you so much for coming on today and sharing those thoughts with us. We really, really appreciate it. And we are so proud of you for graduating. And we know that you'll take this message and go out and help other people with it. So thank you so much. Now, the person that enrolled, Shayna, did you enroll her, Caroline, or did she just on your team? She enrolled her. Okay. Is speaking next. So in case you're living under some rock, there is a former graduate from the Institute of Wholistic Health named Carolyn Powell, and she is a rock star. She just finished, today?
It's today.
Holy
Today,
cow,
75.
Today. I think
I already have my first work at it.
Listen, I think this whole thing's rigged because there's no way that today is day 75. Seriously.
Yeah. I know, you would think we counted that way on purpose.
That is so fantastic. So if those of you that are following along, Caroline did a program called 75 Hard, which is very hard. And I didn't understand how hard it was until I watched her do it. And I was tired following her Facebook posts, let alone doing it myself. So it was extremely difficult, but it does take the discipline and drive to do this business and to help other people stay on path. And Caroline has done all that, not just for other people, but for herself. So it's always important to be an example. And there is no better example in our company than Caroline on how to make a transformation. She's done an unbelievable job at transforming herself, not only her physically and health-wise, but also professionally. And her business has just exploded. And I know you were at a retreat with Cheryl and myself, literally like a year ago, right?
Year ago, yeah.
Yeah. And it's still to this day, Cheryl and I's favorite moment, just hearing from you. And so Caroline had a doctor told her that she has a disorder and that she has to have carbohydrates. It's a requirement for her body because of her genetic disorder that she has. So I've heard doctors say all kinds of crazy things about genetic disorders. Cheryl and I have never heard anybody say, though, that you have to eat carbohydrates because you have a genetic disorder. So I'm sure Dr. Wallach is rolling around right now hearing that, because that's unbelievable what people come up with. And these are doctors going to college,
I just needed to make sure you had something to make you laugh at the most inopportune time for the rest of your life.
Yeah, listen, you always want to make things memorable. So we're going to give you the floor today to make today memorable. So Caroline, we'd love to hear from a former, we're always doing our graduation, want to hear from a former graduate. So we'd love to hear from you today, Caroline.
Well, thank you, Paul, so much. And congratulations to all of the graduates and congratulations to the alumni that are here. Steve and Michelle Wallach, the support from them is just immense. Cheryl Morley, your leadership is incredible. And Paul, you guys, for the brilliance and dedication that it took, the Institute is a true work of the soul, and developing the Institute of Wholistic Health and the vision of its future. We thank you all so very much, and congratulations to Doc, because you have more boots on the ground now, and we're all so excited to be working alongside you, working on your mission. And I hope that all of us, all of the graduates have, maybe you've already realized, but you will realize very soon the value of this course and how it will elevate you in all areas of your life. For me personally, This course turned my life around. My personal health score was a 66 when I first took it, so it wasn't, you know, terrible. The ambulance was not knocking on the door at that point, but there was still a lot of work to do. And last time I took it, my score was a 99. So I'm almost near the 100 mark. And you know, that takes really fine tuning your personal health. And we have that ability because of this knowledge now, and really fine tuning, and then being able to put it into work for ourselves and then give it to others. And so that's one of the best things ever. Also, something else that has come out of this class, this course, was or is having my personal 6 healthy children. You know, every mom wants to have their kids healthy and to have 6 of them healthy. And one of them is actually a graduate today. So Hope, that's one of my daughters. To know that she's already embraced the thought of following in Doc's footsteps. She was able to meet him a couple years ago at an event here, and she wants to be a veterinarian, and she's already preaching your truth, Doc. So they're coming up younger and younger every year. And so between the personal stuff, my business has grown by leaps and bounds, and overall, and best of all, are the connections that I've been able to make over the last 18 months are truly life-changing. And this is family now. And I can't even think about, I look at pictures of a year ago, and I just can't even, clearly that was not the life meant for me. And this course has charted a new course for me. So every new person that I meet, I have the ability to connect with and change a life that I didn't have that capability before. And that is due to this certification and this community. So I just wish you all really the best success in all of the world, and embracing this course, and however you're going to put it into use for you and your family and your business, and really for the world. Anyway, that's all I have to say, Paul. If that wasn't enough. Uh-oh. What happened to your mutingness? There you go.
That was so fantastic, Caroline. Thank you so much for that. And congratulations again on all your success. You've been a great leader here. Have helped out with the Institute and are just simply an inspiration to all of us. So thank you for that. And I love that comment about got more boots on the ground now. That's what Dr. Wallach wanted. So I can't express enough gratitude for you for coming on today and for all that you've done for this Institute. And we need you to do one more thing for the Institute, and that's make Cheryl Morley a co-host. Also, that 619 number is super important as well. So okay. You can make those 2 people co-hosts. Actually, let me try to ask Cheryl to unmute right now. There we go.
My gosh, thank you. Okay, I couldn't unmute. I was like, no, I lose my phone. I'm late for the graduation. I'm horrified running all over town looking for it. And then I cannot unmute. So thank you so much for unmuting me. And congratulations, you guys. This is so awesome. Congratulations to all of you health coaches. And we definitely do have another couple that want to come on here and congratulate you and say a couple of words to each of you right now. So with that, I am going to unmute the 619 number, please. See if we can make it work.
Hello, hello. Hello, hello, everyone. Can you hear me? Good morning.
Yes, we can hear you, Michelle.
We can hear you.
We hear you, Michelle.
Good morning, everyone. How is everyone? This is such an exciting morning. I am so sorry that Steve and I are traveling this weekend. We are here together, but I definitely wanted to take this opportunity to call in, congratulate everyone who has gone through this program. I mean, you guys are into the thousands now. It's just unbelievable. I've been watching it on social media. I've been watching people go through and progress. And I mean, I just cannot be more blessed on how many lives both you and Paul, Cheryl and Paul and team have really touched out there. And not just in making a difference with longevity and the products that they take, but really making a difference in their personal lives and giving everybody such a sense of accomplishment. I mean, my heart is always so warm and so blessed every single time you have one of these graduations. And before I turn the phone over to Steve, I just have to give a little personal shout out to my girlfriend, Shelly Davis. I am so incredibly proud of you. I wish more than anything this was in person, just so I could see you cross the stage. The next time we have an event, I want all of you out there that have received this accomplishment to cross our stage. I think all of you truly need to stand together and just show how strong your numbers are. So without further ado, I'm going to turn my phone over to our CEO, Steve Wallach. He's done some really amazing things in the last month. Hopefully you guys all caught his October 1st call that he did. And here he is to congratulate all of you.
Hi, everybody. Congratulations. I'd just like to reiterate what Michelle said. Not only are we proud of all of you, and we're proud of Paul and Cheryl for really creating this program and shepherding it all along, but there's a saying in network marketing which somewhat applies here, and that is to earn more, you have to learn more. It's a Zig Ziglar quote that I like, but it applies here in that you guys are learning more, and it isn't about earning more, it's about helping more people, getting this message of better health through better nutrition farther and wider. And so it's all about elevating your knowledge and everybody else's knowledge and awareness. And so again, congratulations. I don't want to take up a whole lot of time. It's super noisy where I'm at, and I really apologize for that. But I just wanted to also pass along my heartfelt congratulations to you all. So thank you, and again, congratulations.
Thank you, Steve.
Thank you. Yes. Thank you so much, Steve and Michelle. We sure appreciate you jumping on here. We know how busy you guys are, but we are so grateful that you could hop on just for a couple of minutes and let these coaches know how proud you are of them. And likewise,
Absolutely.
we are. Yes. Awesome. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
You bet.
Well, you guys,
congratulations again, everybody. Bye.
Bye. Thank you. Oh my gosh, you guys, this was awesome. I heard the speakers. You guys were so fantastic, and really just a congratulations to each one of you. And I love graduation. I think it's such a wonderful time, and it's so much fun to celebrate each and every one of you. And then the most awesome thing is you can jump right into building your business now, right? There's no time to wait. It's just like getting in there. We've got the calls set up. I know that a lot of you guys have already been on them. We love that. We love to welcome you. And it's just awesome to be able to jump right in and start becoming, the leader that I really believe each of you are meant to be. And how exciting that is for myself and for Paul. I definitely like to give a shout out to Dr. Wallach. Thank you to Dr. Wallach for all that he has done and all that he's still doing, right? I mean, he's done so much over 60 years or more, and he's still just as vibrant and vital as he's ever been. And he's just out there with us, right along with us. And I just love that about him, because I don't think there's very many other owners or leaders in companies who have done what Dr. Wallach's done, and he's still doing it today, every single day, right? There's never a day that goes by that he is not out there helping someone and being there for someone and being there for us, which we are just so grateful for. Also, I want to say thank you so much to my business partner, Paul Croto, because believe me, we would not have this if it was not for him. I mean, he is incredible. And he's, his heart is so big and so he's there for every single one of us all the time. And I just think that that's so important. And he, even people that aren't on his team, he helps those people also, which I think is such a huge thing for all of us to remember, that we are here to help other people. And something that I always remember is that, and this goes for every single one of us, I believe, that if you guys weren't here, we can't reach the people that you can reach, right? Each of us has a influence of people that we can reach. And I can't reach people that Caroline can reach. Caroline can't reach people that Paul can reach. So each one of us, and that's why we're here. Dr. Wallach said years and years ago that it's, he wanted, people from all over, like I like to call them warriors, because I think we are. I think we're health warriors, and I think we're business warriors, and I think we're out there every single day helping people, loving people, and really being intentional about getting people healthy and helping them make more money. So I am so happy that each of you are with us, that you're on the team, the health coaching team with us. We love you and thank you so much for, I think, really having that faith in us, and also having the faith in yourself and the confidence in yourself to finish this health coaching program, and then having the faith and confidence in us as a community to help you grow and achieve the very life that you've always wanted. So with that, Paul, I will turn the time back over to you. I love you guys, and really welcome to the family.
Outstanding. Thank you so much, Cheryl. Thank you for all those kind words, and thank everyone. I thank all of you for those kind words in the chat too. They mean the world to Cheryl and myself. So thank you, thank you, thank you. We're so honored. I mean, the pleasure is all ours. I mean, we are just, we're trying to do all we can to take Dr. Wallach's message and pass the torch on to other people. And we were told this week by someone very big in the industry, we can't mention the name, but this is the greatest program, not just in longevity, but in the entire network marketing industry. There is nothing like this out there in the world. And those other institutes that are out there that have a health coaching, and you could name whatever one you want. You can't recommend supplements. You can't recommend food. You can't recommend exercise. You can't even recommend drinking water. That's how ridiculous these other certifications are. And so we're appalled by that, and so honored to be able to share with all of you, and then have you go on to share with other people the correct nutritional information on how to fix literally every health problem out there. You now have that ability with Dr. Wallach's message and with these amazing products that we have here. So with that, Cheryl and I kind of switched gears maybe 6 months ago and really got into developing leaders and developing coaches. So 20% of this is strategy, and you got that strategy mastered now by completing the course. So you know everything there is to know to go out and help somebody get healthier and raise their health score and help them fix the problems that they have in those 4 categories. But there's more to this than that. It's not just mastering the strategy, because 80% of this is mindset. So we spend time on Mondays and Tuesdays and Thursdays on here. We spend 3 hours a week growing people, growing you, growing leaders. So I can't emphasize this enough, that this is not the end, but rather the beginning of your career. And I can't encourage you enough to join us on Mondays, Tuesdays, and Thursdays. Even if you can't watch it live, you can watch the recording. But it is critical in development. I mean, I've been doing this for over 20 years, and so is Cheryl, and we learn something new every single day from doing personal growth. So developing ourselves and developing the leaders within us. And we're all meant to be leaders, and we can all improve our leadership skills. So I'm super excited to continue this journey with all of you on these continuing education classes. We're always available for you. The community on Facebook is the unbelievable resource. I mean, there's literally thousands of people in that Facebook group that are experts on health. So if you ever have a client or somebody that you're not exactly sure how to help them or what to recommend, you have 2,000 people that have your back here at the Institute, and they will help you out, and anybody can help you, or Cheryl and I can help you. So you're in business for yourself now, but not by yourself. You have a whole team of people. And as Dr. Wallach talked about earlier, he's available for Zooms anytime. And Doc, we're going to take you up on that, because we need to hear more from you and have you more involved in the teachings here at the Institute, because you're the guy with the knowledge. And I know Dr. Wallach spends about most of his day researching things and staying up to date on what the heck is going on out there. What's the truth? What's not the truth? And going and finding the raw research to back these things up, because there's so much misinformation out there now. It's just mind blowing. I mean, it is just never in history has there been more lies and more misinformation, and the hiding of information is what bothering me the most. And I'm sure it's bothering Dr. Wallach as well. So we got to get this message out. Literally, if they don't hear it from us, they're not going to hear it. So it is on our shoulders to speak the truth and help people improve the most important area of their life, which is their health. So with that, Cheryl, you got any final comments you want to make?
Let's see. Just that we love you, and we're so excited that you're here and have joined this community with us. And we look forward to seeing you 3 times a week, right, Paul? 3 times a week, every week.
Yep. We'll see you on Mindset Monday.
Yes.
So with that, congratulations, everybody.
Congratulations.
We'll unmute the lines and have everyone say congratulations. And we'll see you on Monday. Have a great weekend, everybody. Thanks for coming.
Congratulations, everybody.
And thank you so much. Appreciate you.
Good job. Good job. Well done. Well done.
Congratulations, y'all.
Thank you so much, Paul and
Thank you for
Cheryl.
having this opportunity.
Congratulations, everyone.
Do.
Graduate.
Good job, everyone.
We love you, Paul, Miss Cheryl.
Love you too.
Bye.
Bye.